The Memphis Grizzlies are 44-29, tied for 4th in the Western Conference. And they just fired their head coach. What? I don't think anyone saw this coming today. Probably the last thing on anyone's bingo card for a Friday afternoon in March. But here we are, so let's talk about it. So the Grizzlies find themselves firmly in the playoff race as a top 4 seed right now, tied. But there's only 9 games left in the regular season. So I don't know who decided that now is the time to fire the guy who's been at the helm of the entire team for the past few years, who's been the guy to develop this entire young core that Memphis has been so fond of and build their entire brand off of. I just really don't get it. It's confusing. It makes you wonder what's going on behind the scenes. It makes you wonder what might be on Taylor Jenkins' hard drive.
What did you say? What the fuck did you just say?
There's a bunch of questions. It's really, you don't have all the answers, and as of right now, there haven't been more answers to come out to the public. The only thing that was said was from the Memphis organization themselves, their PR stating that they met with him this morning. They let him know in person that he was fired and also thanked him for all his time and blah, blah, blah. There was nothing bad said. There was no real reason given other than that it was the decision that they were making, and this is when it was happening. They've already named a new interim head coach, top assistant, who was a guy that was brought over in the offseason when Memphis basically cleaned house with their coaching staff. They got rid of all of Taylor Jenkins' old guys, brought in a completely new brand of people, a new staff of all their assistants, and the top guy that is going to be promoted for the rest of the season and the interim head coach is Tuomas Iisalo. I hope I'm saying that name right, but he was brought over after coaching Paris basketball, and apparently he's in charge of their entire offense and all the offensive things that they do, so maybe the transition will be a little more seamless than we think, but I just can't imagine losing or getting rid of a head coach, no matter how not fond you are of him, with only 9 games left in the regular season. There's not enough time to have a new voice come in and try to instill whatever you're hoping that he does instill, because I don't know what you're actually expecting someone to come in and do with less than 10 games left in the regular season. Yeah, the players know him and stuff. Obviously, he's been an assistant, but to have a guy come in and be the new voice of an entire locker room is a lot to ask, especially in this short span of time. Even if Taylor Jenkins did maybe lose the locker room, I don't know that this is the right way to go about doing it. We can look to that video the other day, actually, that may have not seemed as significant as it does to me now, of Desmond Bane pushing Santi Aldama on the bench when they were losing in a game big to the Kings. This Grizzlies team, someone who's been, or a group of people that have been known for their camaraderie, their willingness to play together, unselfishness. They have deep rotations. Everyone seems to get along, right? Before the Thunder came along, they were kind of the happy-go-lucky group, the fun-loving group that would celebrate and do all the extra stuff after games. Maybe that's starting to, fizzle out. I don't know, because I've never seen a physical altercation between two players on the Grizzlies before. Maybe I'm wrong. You can correct me in the comments if somehow I'm forgetting something. But it just doesn't seem like the Grizzlies. There had to be a reason. It might be the reasons because of their winning against top teams. I don't want to act like the Grizzlies are in a perfect situation or anything, because there are a lot of issues with them, and they're someone that's trying to contend. They're 4th in the West, like I alluded to. But they're also not doing a lot of the things that you want to see out of a team that you're hoping has a shot at winning an NBA championship, maybe. Memphis is 5-5 in their last 10, which isn't good. It's not great. It's mediocre. You're the definition of mediocrity. You're 500, playing 500 basketball. That's fine to have in stretches. Teams aren't always going to be hot the entirety of the season. But what's not okay is the fact that they're 11-20 against teams above 500. They really, really beat up on the bad teams, but when it comes to trying to prove themselves against the top competition, they're really, really not good. Not to just poo-poo on them, but here's another gross stat to kind of prove the point that the Grizzlies have not been doing very good against the top competition. They have only won a single game against a team with a winning record since February 3rd. It is March 28th today when I am recording this, so it's been a while. It's been over a month. And that one lone win against a team with a winning record, March 7th, against, guess who? 1, 2, 3, okay, time's up. It's the Dallas Mavericks. They were missing 8 players that game, so not exactly the most convincing win by any means. Even with some of the Grizzlies' struggles, a team this good this late in the season has never fired their head coach like this. The only thing I could find that even resembles this situation was back in 2005 when the Dallas Mavericks fired Don Nelson after going 42-22, but again, that was still about 20-ish games left in the season. I don't think that was a great decision either, But doing it now when you have less than 10, there are less than double-digit amount of games in the regular season on the calendar before the playoffs, and you're having an entire new guy come in and be the leader of a team. I just think it's really questionable, and I think it's questionable because we've literally never seen it before. If they weren't in favor of the direction that the organization was going with Taylor Jenkins, that's one thing. That's something you have a talk about, and maybe you make that big decision come off-season time, not before the playoffs start. Because realistically, even if they didn't like Taylor Jenkins or don't think he's the guy to get them over that hump, do you think that Tuomas Iisalo is going to come in and just completely fix everything within 9 games? Because I really don't think so. You're basically asking him to work a miracle. The Grizzlies are still a good team. They had a chance to at least go. I think Western Conference Finals is maybe an unrealistic ceiling, but it's probably a ceiling that they could have reached. Getting rid of Taylor Jenkins, what does that really do for that? In my eyes, not much. Maybe in Grizzlies fans' eyes, this is a huge move. I know that there's been some valid criticisms of Jenkins as of late, but I also think that he's going to be a guy who's heavily sought after come this next coaching cycle. He's brought up this entire group, not by himself, but he's been the coach who developed along with these players who have developed. It's been a thing going hand in hand for pretty much as long as this new Grizzlies regime has been started, with the rebuilding movement that they had, drafting John Morant, Jaren Jackson, Brandon Clark, Desmond Bane, all those guys. It's been a very similar core that we've been used to seeing, and Taylor Jenkins was at the head of that every single year. So it's really interesting to now see a Grizzlies team with John Morant, Jaren Jackson, but no Taylor Jenkins. Another possibility is always the fact that maybe one of the players, the star players, Ja or Jaren, I don't know, maybe Desmond, he seemed not very happy, went to the front office and said, hey, I'm not really rocking with Mr. Jenkins. And there's a possibility that one of those players, I think the only one that would have the wherewithal and the power to possibly do so is Ja or maybe JJJ. But I think there's a possibility that one of them didn't agree with what they saw Taylor Jenkins doing in running the team. They made an ultimatum. Maybe the front office felt compelled to make a move. I don't know. I'm sure we'll see more details or more reports, at least from somebody's side, as the weeks go on. It's going to be a very interesting situation to follow, because I don't think that this is a surface level thing. There has to be something else going on behind the scenes, because I still am in the belief that Taylor Jenkins is a very good coach. Anyways, that is going to do it for this video. I just wanted to come on really quick and talk about this because I don't think anyone was expecting to see that notification pop up on their phone. Like I said earlier in the video, just a very bizarre thing. Hopefully we find out more very soon. But other than that, Grizzlies fans, NBA fans, stay safe out there, and everyone have a good day.